All right, good evening, everyone out there. I'm Lori Ledley, the founder and president of Valley Sleep Center. And over the years, I had a vision board with all these things I wanted to do at Valley Sleep. And last year, at the beginning of the pandemic, one of my visions was to add a weight loss program to Valley Sleep Center. So we came up with Sleep to Slender, and we had all these nurse practitioners that because of COVID, didn't have a lot of patients coming in. So they learned our program, we developed it. We've recently kind of revamped it a little bit. So I'm super excited. Any of you out there that struggle with sleep apnea, or someone who struggles with sleep apnea, know that they're most likely overweight, right? So typically what happens is, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I like to think it was the apnea. Your brain wasn't restoring, you're going to gain weight because your battery is not getting charged all night, which Andrew will talk more about. But I want to welcome Andrew Nabors. He is my friend, my fellow respiratory therapist. He's a sleep educator. All he does all day, every day is meet with patients who struggle with their CPAP, but he's also a big part of Sleep to Slender. Andrew lives this in his life. He works out, he eats right, and he is a great coach to our Sleep to Slender community. So I just want to say thank you. Welcome. If you're on the webinar, one of you is going to win a free Sleep to Slender consult. That's $185 value. So if you guys are on Facebook, feel free to, pipe in and leave a comment. Let us know if you have any questions. And Andrew, take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lori. Yes. So as Lori mentioned, the Sleep to Slender program has been it's been something we've been managing for about a year now, and we've had a few success patients, and we're really trying to revamp it to make more success. Ultimately, as she said, in the world of sleep apnea, the majority of the patients that we get are overweight. They just can have a tendency to have more body fat. And the reasons why, not so much relevant on how you got to where you're at, but understanding how you got to where you're at and what hurdles you're facing to get yourself backwards is important. Weight loss is probably the only successful way to get rid of sleep apnea. I've had two patients this week, that have lost substantial amounts of weight, over 20% body weight, and they're going to be doing new studies to see where their apnea status is, see if they even need to be on treatment anymore. They would be considered success cases in the weight loss world. So I will go over a slideshow regarding our Sleep to Slender program, dive into what we have going on with the program, and hopefully y'all get something good out of it. I will hop into this. I just kind of jumped a little too far down. I was kind of going through the slides. So I will get this moving. And if anybody has questions, you can pipe in, but here we go. So as I said, Sleep to Slender is our medically supervised weight loss program. It's designed for obstructive sleep apnea patients. They're going to be our primary patients we're going to serve. You don't have to have sleep apnea to need to lose weight. So anybody could benefit from this. Anybody who really has 20 pounds or more to lose could get some significant results from just the diet and nutrition and the structure that we're going to be putting forth. It focuses on not just weight loss. So weight loss programs a lot of times focus on how much weight can you consistently lose. And an interesting story about a company that I know is doing a current weight loss program. And there's certain coaches that are doing it. And one of the coaches happens to say, you need to starve yourself to lose weight, which is not a smart move. That's one of the worst things you could possibly do while you will lose weight. That's not sustainable. What we're trying to coach and we're trying to provide is a sustainable lifelong weight loss program that focuses on, of course, the support needed, nutrition, education, accountability, possible energy enhancing supplements, and appetite suppression, stuff to help you not feel like you need to consistently be throwing food down your throat. There's a couple pillars of success we touch base on, like intermittent fasting. understanding nutrition and calorie education. A big one is good sleep hygiene. Wow, who'd have thought us at Valley Sleep Center would discuss sleep hygiene? Appetite suppression, understanding why and how hydration plays a role on weight loss. It's a bigger factor than most people believe. And then, of course, we have an accountability, a Facebook group that we're going to be providing exercise motivation, videos, and stuff that help you with your success. The program itself is 12 weeks long. Now, 12 weeks is our initial program. Doesn't mean you can't go longer. Doesn't mean you can't restart. Doesn't mean if you fall off, you can't keep going. But it's a 12-week program with 6 visits. We want to schedule visit 1 and then visit 2 through 6. That way we can be structured with our accountability. That way you're in the program. You're not, oh, well, I have to have a follow-up. Oh, and our schedule says 3 or 4 weeks out. No, we want you on the schedule, booked out 6 weeks. Now, and anybody going into any weight loss program has to have a few considerations, okay? First and foremost, how motivated are you to lose weight? As I mentioned, most of the time when somebody who has weight to lose, it's not so much relevant on how you got there. While you want to know what your process was, it's, are you motivated to get it off? How motivated are you? How distracted are you in life? Is there outside forces that may be preventing you from losing weight? What are your means of using food? Is it a coping mechanism for stress? How ready are you to try to learn different management techniques to cope with stress? What's your support group like? Do you have friends that want to go down this path? Do you have any other colleagues or something that are doing their same process? Do you know somebody who just happens to be in this fantastic level of shape and you always think to yourself, how on earth does this person maintain this? What's their secret? Okay, that's a perfect support system. Are you willing to change eating habits? Eating habits are massive. What we throw down this big hole in the middle of our face is what's generally causing us to gain weight. And are you willing to change your activity habits? What directions are you going to do for exercise if that's something that you're going to need to do? And then obviously a big one is, do you have the time to make these changes? We have more time than we think we do. There's a lot of things that we can adjust in our world that to provide time, and that's something we can discuss depending on patient to patient. So the initial exam is going to be a physical exam. We were doing electrocardiogram. It's not necessarily something we're going to be providing much anymore, but we may be requesting lab work so we can see kind of what your metabolic panel looks like, your thyroid panel. Make sure that there's nothing that are popping up in blood work that would spin you and deter you from being able to successfully join a weight loss program and actually lose weight. Something that your PCP may need to manage with some other medications or different things. We're going to discuss intermittent fasting. That's going to be one of our cornerstones. Intermittent fasting for most people is a very successful weight. It's not a weight loss method. It's a technique on eating. It helps a lot of structuring how and when we eat our food, and it allows our digestive system to take a huge rest. The 16-8 intermittent fasting window is designed to allow 16 hours of non-caloric intake in an 8-hour eating window. And during that window, you'll want to eat well. No starving yourself. 16 hours isn't starving yourself. Our body can survive 16 hours without food. Our body can survive days without food. It's just going to feel like you're going to die after 16 hours. You're not. You'll be fine. Trust me. You'll live. So some of the benefits of intermittent fasting, it helps prevent neurodegenerative diseases. One of the things about intermittent fasting is that it decreases toxins in the body. After a certain period of time of not eating, your body goes to this mode called autophagy, where it's eating toxins out of the cells in the body, and the digestive system is pushing it out. It can have a positive benefit on your insulin levels. It can help human growth hormone, which also is going to help exercise and building muscle. It can help reduce the risk of heart disease, blood pressure, cholesterol issues. It boosts metabolism. And of course, it can reduce, it can increase in testosterone, and like I said, decreasing inflammation and antioxidant properties in the body. We're going to discuss some of the hidden calories that we like to throw down in the middle of our face. So hidden calories are common. And of course, here we have this cute little espresso drink. This simple blueprint of 6 drinks that a person could consume in a day. Orange juice for breakfast. We got a latte for just, maybe you have that at breakfast too, but maybe morning. Some people like to do soda. Soda's a calorie bomb. That's only one 12-ounce can of soda, which is usually not enough for most people. Sometimes because you're maybe not treating your sleep apnea well. Sometimes your sleep is poor. You get that mid-afternoon coffee as a pick-me-up. With dinner, maybe you have lemonade, glass of wine, another drink. This example shows that a person is consuming 848 extra calories based on what fluids they're putting in their body. It's not necessary to gorge yourself on calories that you drink. So hydration. Hydration is a topic that I'm a big fan of. I have my hydro flask with me. This is a 40-ounce hydro flask. One of the things that I prefer doing and I like doing every day is drinking this whole thing within 30 minutes of waking up. So I've hydrated my body with 40 ounces of fluid before I've even done any productive activity that day. And then I will drink at least 2 of these in a day. So that puts my ounces at 180 ounces or 120 ounces of water, which is almost a gallon of water in a day. Generally more than that as well, depending on the day. Like right now, it's summertime. I'm drinking more fluids than I would in the wintertime. Water is obviously the best way to hydrate, but it is boring. So these natural sweeteners and supplements and stuff like this, these water drops and sweet leaf teas, they can taste good. They can taste like your sodas. They can taste like your lemonades without all of the calories and the artificial sweeteners and stuff that go into those other drinks. A sample meal plan is you're going to break your fast. You're going to go into breakfast. Breakfast is going to be something comprehensive that allows a lot of calorie dense foods. You can do a calorie dense smoothie, something, plant-based foods. You can do an actual real whole food breakfast. That's important. Focusing on more hydration throughout the day. Snacking and lunch, you want to eat real food with proteins and carbohydrates. Fats are okay to have in your body as well. Fats aren't necessarily the root cause of why we've gained weight. It's not by eating fat. Usually it's by eating starchy foods and carbohydrates and sugars that facilitate into fat. But back to the hydration mode, drinking more fluids. You're allowed a snack in the middle of the afternoon or in the middle of the day, as long as you're in that 8-hour window. More hydration. And dinner, more real foods. It's kind of one of our prime benefits is avoiding the artificial foods or the prepackaged foods. You want to get some real, actual healthy diet in your body. It helps digestion as well. Counting calories. That's what fuels our body. But calories is also how we gain weight, okay? In order to lose weight, we need to trim calories, okay? Now, a long-term solution for weight loss is trying to lose successfully about 1 to 2 pounds per week, okay? Now, in order to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week, a person will need to burn in excess of between 500 and 1,000 calories more than they consume in a day by regular diet or physical activity, okay? We're going to want you to understand how many calories does your body need to survive, and then tweak your caloric intake based on that. If you're able to cut 3,500 calories in 1 week, it's going to be 1 pound of fat. Sounds difficult? It's not. MyFitnessPal is a tracking system that we use. Some people have heard of this. It's easy, free download on your phone. You can scan foods at the supermarket and they add it to your MyFitnessPal. It's going to track your caloric intake, how many calories you've been consuming each day. You can input all this stuff in the app and it records it all for you. It's a very helpful, free application. Getting active and staying active. Obviously, it's not rocket science that exercise helps lose weight. Okay. Some people can successfully start a weight loss and exercise regime without any shortcomings or pullbacks. Um, Exercise in its own right, it has numerous health benefits, including boosting mood, cardiovascular, strengthen your cardiovascular system, heart health, reduce blood pressure. It helps maintain weight loss. And then anybody who starts a weight loss program, the only real method to keep the weight off without just diet alone is exercise. Gaining muscle burns fat. Now, the amount of calories burns almost depends on the frequency and duration of activity. Steady aerobic activity, such as like brisk walking or running, that does keeps your heart rate up and it helps burn fat. Now, sustainable weight loss is more strength training and muscle building. That's going to burn fat in a long term. But we want to at least try to encourage 30 minutes of physical activity most days of the week. Okay. It's nice to take some days off, and you don't need to do it every single day, especially if you're in pain or you're too sore. Any extra movements really help burn fat, though. Like simple examples, like instead of taking the elevator, you take the stairs, or you park farther in the parking lot, so you have to walk farther. If you're a person that's used to not moving very much during the day, you're sedentary, you have a desk job, getting up and moving for 20 or 30 minutes a day for your lunch break and such, it makes a big change on your body composition. Adding a fitness routine. We all want to find a fitness routine that we enjoy. Now, not every single person is going to like running. Some people just want to walk. There's ways to amp up walking, make walking even more difficult than just walking around the block. Biking, hiking, swimming, Zumba, yoga, weightlifting, CrossFit, whatever you want to do that you find that's something that, hey, maybe I'll be interested in that. These are something that we're going to want to steer you towards and discuss with you to find what fitness routine you want. We are providing group and online fitness classes through our Facebook page. Lori's been doing these classes most mornings around 9 a.m. So depending on scheduling, you may be able to take part of these. Plus, they're recorded on Facebook, so they're available to go back and get. We're going to be doing YouTube tutorials, stuff that we're going to be going through grocery stores, figuring out, showing kind of these are items that you should be picking up in a day. These are healthy items. These are items that you want to avoid. Showing different fitness routines, scaling options. What if you don't have equipment? How do I do it without equipment? What if I have this piece of equipment? How can I do compound movements or exercises that I can successfully move around with that I'm not going to get hurt doing? And then 7 steps that we can cognitively think about, that we can think on our everyday life that can help us lose weight and keep weight off. The number one of the most important things is planning ahead, not having to go and rush and get fast food because you're hungry. Having food made on hand, having meal prepping, that's a planning ahead sort of situation. Having lunch made, so that way you don't have to run out and get the junk food and lunch. Eating slower allows our stomach to catch up. Okay, allows our stomach to realize that, hey, by the way, you're full and you don't overeat. Eating mindfully is something along the lines of not grazing. Like if you had a bag of chips sitting on your countertop and you walk by this bag of chips, drip your hand in there, throw it down your mouth every time you walk by it, that's not eating mindfully. That's grazing. Getting your body straight, getting your stress under control. Some elements are stuff that we're going to be able to manage and help, such as sleep stress, but physiological stress or stress that you're having in your family life or home life, that might be something that another provider at a different facility or that we might be able to figure out for you. Eating before you're hungry. It's tough when you're fasting because you're going to get hungry, but that's more for the 8-hour window when you are eating, when you are supposed to eat. If you have a decent sized meal that could sustain you for 4 or 5 hours, but you only have an 8-hour eating window, you're still going to need to eat enough calories to sustain that 16-hour not eating window. Okay. Giving yourself time. No one gained all this weight in a day. No one's going to lose in a day. Okay. It may take weeks, months, or even a year to successfully lose the amount of weight that you're wanting to lose. So it doesn't happen in a week. As I said, our diet is not designed to be a crash diet. It's designed to help you long term. Um, Learning hunger cues. Hunger cues are what are the items that what are the things that make us want to eat bad? Do we have a sweet tooth? Do we crave salts and sugars? What are our hunger cues that drive us to be going to get something we're not supposed to eat? Is it stress? Is it just that saltiness and ways to deter yourself? These are some of our the initial paperwork. One of the most important things we're going to be doing is our initial snapshot. Of course, we're going to get weight, we're going to get some measurements, we're going to discuss our elimination diets, supplements that may be needed, review what kind of fitness routines you're doing. We're going to want to get a baseline of where you're at. There's a diet and nutrition journal. Okay, it's going to have, this is just a week-long journal. So we give you, of course, 2 weeks before you follow back up, get an idea of what have you done each day. You're going to write it down so that way we have a review and assessment of how you've eaten and kind of an idea of what calories you've taken in. We have an elimination diet food plan. Now, there's a lot of foods that we may or may not know that are unhealthy. We all know ice cream is bad for us. It's not rocket science, but sometimes an avocado, okay? Avocados, well, they're very, very, very high in fat. Peanut butter, that's protein, right? No, it's not protein. It's fats. Okay, it's oil, it's fats. There's certain things that are going to need to be eliminated out of your diet to help you with this weight loss. And then there's a difference between elimination and goodbye forever, and elimination to help you get away from your cravings and to help you get the weight loss routine started. The initial paperwork is going to be, we're going to go over your history. We're going to want to see what your eating habits, what have you done in your past history to try to lose weight? What have you figured out, or the reasons that you gained weight? What's preventing you from losing weight? When did you notice this is happening? How much did you gain? How much did you lose? How many diet plans have you tried? Have you had any success with them? What's your goals? We want to know these things. That way we can get them on paper. We can review them consistently to make sure you're on track. Okay. We're going to want, of course, just a general medical history. A lot of the paperwork you're going to see at a regular doctor's office. And especially if you've done, appointments with us, that as a doctor's office, we have paperwork. We have our Facebook support group that we will enroll you in if that's something that you want to be part of. We encourage it completely because that's where we can interact and have our support systems. We can share what's been working, recipes, workouts, different methods to stay accountable. And of course, if you're interested in the program, you can contact us at Valley Sleep Center. The phone number below, 480-830-3900. You can schedule an appointment with one of our providers to our Sleep to Slender program. Thank you.
All right, we can open it up for questions.